So the people at Gray Zone Warfare were nice enough to reach out and they asked me, hey Enders, I know this isn't what you typically play, but do you want to play our new Night Ops and we'll give you special access and all this stuff? And I said, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm super bored anyway. Why not, right? I don't know anything about this game. Never heard of it, never played it, never seen it, don't know anything about it. And just so we're clear, this video is not sponsored. They just allowed me to access it early, so shout out to the people at Gray Zone Warfare. Very polite. Even the main dude DM'd me like beginner guides, which I ignored because I wanted to go in raw. So the comment section of this video should be pretty hilarious because I'm sure I did everything wrong. I mean, my entire thought process was I shoot anything with a pulse. Even if it doesn't shoot back at me, I'm killing it. I don't care. So in this video, I'm just going to give you guys some information about Gray Zone Warfare's big new thing that's coming out. It's called Night Ops, and I'm sure you guys would love to hear about it. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch me flounder around in this game that I don't know anything about. Like I said, my thought process for this was kill anything that moves, all right? So I saw some very nice gentlemen at some point in the middle of the street, and I said, well, they're not really attacking me, but I'm going to kill them. So that's what I did. I killed those people. Then I ran out of ammo for like 3 different weapons, and I had to start killing more people to take their gun to kill other people. So it was like this really cool cycle until I eventually just got shot in the head and died. But to be fair, I probably deserved that because I definitely shot a couple people that I probably shouldn't have shot. They were just standing still minding their own business, and I was like, well, you don't look very friendly. The whole gist of this game is basically it's an extraction shooter, right? We've seen these before. I've never played extraction shooters, so this is really a completely new experience. I accepted a couple tasks, which I again subsequently ignored because I couldn't figure out how to complete the tasks, and then I accidentally completed some tasks without meaning to. So basically, I'm the greatest ever. My initial impression of this game was it's actually visually stunning. Like, I was just standing there at some point with the game on Ultra, and I was like, wow. I can see why some people boom out on these games. Just like, got the kids screaming in the background, honey, hold on, I'm looking at Gray Zone Warfare. I will take care of whatever you need later. Do you see how good this looks on my OLED monitor? Now, like I said, this was a special invitation for Gray Zone Warfare's Night Ops, so why don't I just tell you what some new things are in this Night Ops mode? First thing that's pretty obvious is there's a dynamic day-night cycle, and when they say night, they actually mean real night. I mean, it's pretty dark. But to counteract this, they implemented new night vision goggles, and there are different tiers of these night vision goggles, such as the PSV-7. Ah, yes, of course, I own some of those. But night vision goggles are pretty useless if you don't have anything to shoot someone with. So they added a bunch of new weapons, the AK Ratnik series, the AKS-74U, the Colt 1911, and a bunch of other stuff you can play with and find in the game world. Now, while I am personally very new to playing extraction shooters, this being probably the 3rd time I've ever played one in my entire life, I have watched extraction shooters a lot of the time, and I'm good enough at FPS games to where I can watch something and understand, some of the mechanics even without touching it. This game's shooting mechanics, I would say, are actually pretty decent. There's some confusing stuff that I don't understand. Like, at one point, I was shooting someone with a pistol, and he just looked at me like I was stupid, and I couldn't tell if I was hitting him, so I just kept shooting him until he fell over. That's probably some sort of armor mechanic that I don't understand, but he was tough, let me tell you. Shot that guy like 45 times. I could see myself playing this type of game with friends because I just think that's definitely the way to approach a game like this. You squad up with a bunch of people and you just kind of mess around and then try to kill a bunch of people, extract with a ton of loot, and basically win. And the cool thing with this game is you can all play the same faction and play with each other, but it's a more integrated experience. I mentioned in the gameplay while I was playing, I really like the fact that you have to call in a helicopter to get flown to a landing zone. They could easily replace that sequence with a loading screen, like every other game I've ever played in my whole life, but no. They said, we're going to actually taxi you to the location you want to go to. That's pretty cool. Never seen that before. Overall, the game didn't feel as clunky as I expected it to, but as you guys know, this is just simply not my type of game, okay? I was running down the street, and then all of a sudden I heard my guy gasping for breath, and he started, like, slowing down. And I was like, hello? You're in a video game. Get in shape. What are you doing? and then I had to drink water and eat food in the game to survive. Like, come on. I mean, come on. Dude had to take a Cliff Bar break in the middle of a firefight. And this is why I don't personally venture into this side of FPS. This is not harping on this type of game. This is my personal view. I think that's just really tedious and irritating, and I simply don't have the time out of my day to waste on eating a Cliff Bar in a video game to survive. I just don't care. When I play a video game, I want to launch the game up, I want to see the enemy in front of me, and I want to be able to kill him, and I want to repeat that cycle over and over again. I don't want to waste time doing all these little tiny, tedious tasks, that's alliteration, before I can actually get to the core gameplay of the game. Now, for someone that is looking for an extraction shooter, I think this big update that they're doing, I think this game in general, is probably a really solid option. It looks as though they're going really in depth into like gear degradation and bullet trajectories and impact injuries and all this sort of crazy stuff. So if you're looking for a realistic experience that you can play with your friends, this is probably a super solid option. But if you're someone like me that has brain rot and can't be asked to like do basic tasks in a video game, yeah, this is probably not going to be for you. And that was further solidified by the fact that I got aimbotted in my face by an AI soldier, like, pretty much immediately. So, will I ever really put time into this game? I'm really not sure. I'd like to do it with friends, for sure. I think the game has potential. I think the game is fairly high quality. I was getting decent performance. If you look in the upper right-hand corner of the video, you can see my FPS. My 4090 is getting bottlenecked, but, you know, I have a pretty strong computer. I would say the performance is pretty good. And then in comparison to some other extraction shooters like Delta Force's extraction shooter and obviously Escape from Tarkov, I think this game has less irritating and just unnecessary mechanics compared to Escape from Tarkov, at least initially. This game definitely still has some tedious things, like I mentioned, you know, eating and drinking and all that stuff. And then in comparison to Delta Force's extraction shooter that's coming out, I think on December 5th, I think Delta Force's extraction shooter is probably the most casual out of all of these. In other words, it would be the least hardcore or the least realistic experience, but still pretty hardcore. Overall, I'm just pretty grateful for the opportunity to record this game and get some early access for a game that I really didn't have on my radar. The developers of the game were very, very cordial, very polite. They even attempted to help me figure out what the game is and how to play it. I'm sorry I ignored that. I wanted to go in raw first impressions. But that's just the type of person I am, right? I want to figure out how to do something by myself and then hone that with my own ability. So, Gray Zone Warfare, I'll probably revisit it in the future, and definitely comment down below if you want me to as well. Definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Gray Zone Warfare, or Delta Force, or Battlefield, and thank you for hanging out. Now, enjoy the last few minutes of me looking like an idiot in this gameplay.